Hey, hey, you. How are you doing? Wait, pause. Just take a pause right now with me. Stop what you're doing. Sit down. Take some time for you. I know you need to get to the dishes or to the paperwork or to that next thing on your to-do list. Just pause with me for a moment and let's explore the topic that's on my heart today, that called to me from the last 2 days of really struggling physically and energetically. Not my spirit. My spirit, great. Physically and energetically. So, are you ready? Let's pause together and learn about the willingness to be gentle with ourselves. Okay, are you ready? Let's take a breath together and be in this moment together. And I give you grace, even if you're listening and you're still busy doing what you need to do. I get it. There's always something calling to us. Always something more we need to complete or finish or get done. And you know what? Here's a secret. In the midst of overwhelm, do you know what the best thing to do is? To pause. So let's do this to the best of your ability. Here we are. So, most of you know I am Victoria. I call myself the soul nurturer because my soul medicine has brought me back to this need, this great need to nurture others while nurturing myself. Now, for years I had that backwards. It was all about helping others, nurturing others, and excluding myself while I was offering to others what I needed. So now I'm including myself and wrapping my arms around all of you as I do. So when you hear me say be gentle with yourself, what does that feel like? What comes to mind? Well, this poem that a client of mine gave to me years and years ago, probably 15 years ago, sitting in my office, called the Desiderata by Max Ehrmann. It's an old poem. I'm just going to read part of it, and then I'll read the entire poem that I think is so fitting for these times at the end of my message. So this part is the one that really called to me as I was thinking about reconfiguring myself and getting back into a centered, grounded feeling to continue to move forward with what I need to do to love myself forward. And that's really a big message here today. How can we be gentle with ourselves, nurture ourselves right where we are, and love ourselves forward? So here is, this is towards the end of the poem. And you might want to close your eyes and just soak this in, okay? Be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. And whether or not it's clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Just breathe that in with me. Just one of those poems that meets you right where you are and reminds you and reassures you it is okay. Even though things are very intense, continue to be intense as we continue to be tossed around by the waves of transformation right now, this collective transformation unfolding. And as I've been talking about for years, and most acutely really since February, that this is a call to go deeper with our inner work, our own transformation, to be willing to look in those nooks and crannies, to do our shadow work, to be willing to do what's needed within here, to contribute to the collective unfolding, to empower the possibilities yet to be for all of us. Okay? So, you know, that saying, as within, so without. This is where we practice, right? What's going on in the world? And what are we noticing in our bodies? And this is really, really important. The first step in being gentle with yourself is to be aware of what's going on with you and to meet yourself right where you are with compassion and willingness and honoring, to breathe in and listen to your body. You know, I love the hand over your heart technique. And also sometimes just hand on the belly to connect. You know, there's a lot going on in the body. There's a lot going on in the world. So feeling in what's going on, and to pause, and you can do this right now. How are you feeling in this moment? What is your energy like? And to be willing to really let your body be your guide. The intensity of the world right now, your body is going to communicate that to you, because the intensity of the world, the pressure of the world is pressurizing everything that's inside of us, all that we still have to work on, all that is unhealed and wounded within us, all that is calling for our attention and our willingness to be present with compassion. So a couple of days ago, I was I've been doing great, just focusing on all my projects and what I need to do. I disconnected from Facebook. I had to. I was just getting, I felt like, a couple of reasons I stepped away from Facebook. I was conflicted because I felt like it's important to have our voices heard, but I felt like there was the cacophony of noise of all these different divisive voices. I didn't think my voice was going to be heard there. So I thought, come back to your projects, my writing, these YouTube videos. I'm doing a couple of other projects with friends. That would be a better place for my voice. And also, I still feel like in this retreat mode, just really in my cocoon. I want to really get it. I really want to grow through this time. And that's what I invite all of you to. I can't say it enough. I know I'm a broken record, but it is so true. These potent times right now, don't miss the opportunity to do your deeper transformation. This opportunity to heal collectively. It's going to get easier, but right now we're in the thick of it, okay? So, I wanted to say this about, I know what I was saying, that, we witness what's going on in the world, and then coming back to what is that in me, and this division we see over and over again in many different forms, and it's challenging for empaths, for sensitive people. We feel it even if, I disconnected from Facebook and I don't watch news. I mean, of course, I tap in to see what's going on, get my prayer report, but I try not to overexpose myself because I am ultra sensitive. Okay. So, 2 days ago, I just started feeling incredibly exhausted, and my body was in full blown flare of pain. I have struggled for years with chronic pain, lots of different health issues that had happened or going on, and I'm still resolving. But when I'm in that level of pain, I know on some level I didn't honor a need, and I've absorbed too much from the world. And so unplug even more. I mean, everything had to be unplugged, and there was nothing more that I could do but surrender and rest. And that's really hard when I know that I'm speaking to a lot of you out there, when you've got an agenda, you've got a lot of things going on, and you're trying to accomplish and catch up with yourself and your life and your friends, but your body tells you otherwise. Sorry, you don't get to do any of that today, because what you need to do is stop and rest and reset and restore and replenish. So that's what I had to do the last 2 days. Just, and there was a point where I thought, this is a big one. I don't know if I'm going to recover that quickly. I was in a lot of pain, and I surrendered and meditated and prayed and just let myself be, and was praying for a lot of people out there. A lot of my clients are in they're reporting intensity too. I get a lot of text messages from people in crisis, and I have to watch how much my energy definitely goes out to people, but I have to make sure that I'm keeping energy here with me. So this is an important tool, an important practice for an empath, where we must stay connected to our own needs, ourselves, our energy. And I always say, make sure our wells are filled up before we're giving. So there was a lot of requests this week because a lot of intensity, a lot of crisis going on. I think I overextended and drained in some areas, but it's okay. There's a way to recover, and I did that, and I feel refilled, and it's important for me. That's part of my medicine, to reach out to others, to support and love each other and others forward too. So I just wanted to say that to you, to let yourself honor the needs of your own body, and extreme times require extreme self-care. And this is a time to really, I was thinking about doing this video in my pajamas with the blanket, maybe a cup of hot cocoa, just to really bring home the message of be gentle, let yourself be cozy in your being, pause, and do the things that you're putting off that will be replenishing and restorative. It's so, so important. So the division in the world, I gotta come back to this. This is the important part I wanted to talk about. I just looked at my time. It was 11:11. Cool. The division in the world, where is that in us? And here's what I want to tell you about this transformational time. What transformation means, you're going across an old form and creating a new form, right? So the old form of us, our old patterns, our old way of being. There's some division going on within people. Myself, I see it in my clients, and it's as simple as this. Do you want to keep doing it the old way, or do you want to do it the new way? And then sometimes we go, what is the new way? And that's where in transformation we have to surrender the old way. I can no longer do that, be that, experience that, and be open in the gap, in that transition time, while we're kind of waiting for the new to emerge. In my class that I'm teaching right now, the Shelter and Soul series, this is where we are in our cocooning time, just getting ready to emerge. But this is what I feel is going on collectively, and we can be even more frustrated when we see the division outside of us, because we're not at peace and acceptance with the division within us. This is the tricky part with transformation. We can't reject. We have to continue to accept and be present with grace and gentleness. Yes, and especially when there's a lot of intensity and stress in the world, in our individual world, in our minds. When we're under a lot of stress, we tend to go into what's called the default programming. The programming that was created when probably you were a child and you were trying to survive in the world and trying to do the best you could to get your needs met. This is where we adapt and we become our conditioned self. That default programming where we play it safe, we do what's expected so we're loved and safe. You may find yourself defaulting in old patterns of people pleasing or overextending, or not practicing good self-care. I found myself in a pattern of self-neglect. That's one of my old ones. I want to say this to you. A lot of our old patterns come from, not to blame families of origin, our parents, anyone. Everyone did the best they could with what they had to offer us, but just through awareness. A pattern of neglect. I didn't have a lot of adult support and positive reflection and care. My mom wasn't available to do that. So when I'm stressed and the world's weighing heavily on me and my heart, what happens is I start to subconsciously, that consciousness below, below the consciousness. Our consciousness is where we're aware. We have logic, reasoning, decision making, and willpower. And that's a little bit of a capacity of our full programmed mind. The majority of our programming is underneath our consciousness, subconscious. So that subconscious pattern in me that was wired in, that was familiar, that was what I witnessed growing up. And when I'm stressed, I go back there, which is neglecting myself. And I was really in that 2 days ago, and maybe some of you noticed this too in yourself. 2 days ago, I mean, it was just up, like all the ways I've neglected myself, my health. And, so when you notice an old pattern, you also then may notice the reinforcer of the pattern, which is shame or guilt. Any negative energy that comes back to hit you, push you back down into that old pattern. That's where you go, whoa, this is really a call for compassion and gentleness and awareness for what's the opposite of this old experience that I was very well rehearsed in. What do I want? And what does it look like? And that's our authentic self calling us back to what's possible. It's our soul, and our soul is always guiding us, always wanting us to choose higher and greater beyond what we're experiencing, and definitely doesn't want us to go backwards. Okay, so is this the old way or the new way? And that can be that inner division within ourselves. So it's an invitation to pause and close your eyes and say, what is the vision of something higher, and what is the new way? What is possible? I actually had this happen to me years ago when I was first getting on my transformational path, and was scrambling, stressed, running, racing to get to work, and I was late, and I had lost my keys, and I was just in a panic, and I literally heard a voice in my head that said, sit down. I went, what? Okay. I sat down on my bed, all stressed and, in that old patterning. And when you're in your old default patterning, you can see nothing else. You can't see any other possibilities. You're limited in fear. And then I heard, do you want to keep doing it the old way, or do you want to do it the new way? And I was like, what? What new way? Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was, do you want to do it the old way, the hard way, or do you want to do it the easier way? That's what it was, because I was like, there's an easier way? Really? And just in that moment, I surrendered. And then I saw my keys where I'd lost them. They were behind the rear wheel of my car out in the garage. I never would have thought to look there. So I got my keys and I was like, what just happened? Well, however you want to believe, whatever that is that God talking to me? Was it my own soul? What was it? Intuition? You can decide. I knew what it felt like for me. And I knew it was that place of, okay, when you're in division within yourself, old way, new way, what do you want to choose, right? So I wanted just to remind you of that this is, intense times, intense work, and the pressure of all of it can feel overwhelming. So be gentle with yourself, honor your needs, listen to your body. Ask yourself, what can you do to nurture yourself each and every day, even if it's for 5 minutes, getting outside, putting your feet on the ground, or just closing your eyes, or doing a meditation, or doing some journaling. And journaling doesn't have to be hardcore, like get it all out. Journaling can be just a little love note to yourself, a little check-in. How are you doing today in your journal? And answer, what do you need today? And listen and write it, okay? So just think of it this way. How can you, at this time, nurture yourself? Practice good self-care. Not only just yourself. I want to say nurture your mind, your body, your soul. What does your mind need to feel calm and at peace? What does your body need to feel nurtured and supported and replenished? And what does your soul need? When we nurture our soul, we nurture our potential, and then we see possibilities. And then we're more likely to move towards the things that are possible still, okay? I call it loving yourself forward. Okay, so, and then I want to encourage you also, please reach for support if you need it. I've been doing that more and more. I get people that'll send me messages and say, hey, I'm practicing a new modality. Would you be willing to be one of my participants and practice with me? And in the past, I'd be like, no, I'm good. But I've been saying, yes, sure. That sounds great. So reach for support and allow yourself to receive. There is a balance, especially with an empath. You have to be aware of how much have you given out and how much have you allowed yourself to receive. Very, very important. Okay. So, and then be willing to turn within whenever needed. Pause and sit still. The dishes can wait. Just the dishes will be easier to do. I'm looking at my dishes. I actually did them. There's a couple things I have to do over there. That's why I'm looking over there. That as you fill up, you'll have more capacity to do the things you need to do, and not be doing from a place of draining and obligation and resentment, but rather from, I can do this. I get to do this. This is my life. But filling up first is really, really important. So being present to yourself, just that hand over heart again, reassuring yourself in this moment, just like if you were with a best friend or a child, it's okay. It's going to be all right. We need to reassure ourselves through these big times of transformation and intensity, okay? All right. So I would love to hear your comments about how do you nurture yourself, nurture your mind, nurture your body, nurture your soul, and how do you, and you can maybe journal about this, how do you love yourself forward in each moment? Well, what does that look like for you? I'd love to hear. So I'm going to end with the full poem, the Desiderata, I think that's how you say it. And again, you can close your eyes and listen, and then just take whatever, I think I'll post this in the information section. Read the poem and notice what calls to you, and maybe just take that section and journal more about it, or sit with it and ask, where does this apply? Where is this needed? What is this bringing? What awareness is opened in what area of my life? Okay. I think collectively it applies to all of us right now. So here it is. Okay. Go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others. Even the dull and the ignorant, they too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexations to the spirit. I think that could be news too. My little adding that in. But notice whatever is loud and disturbing to your spirit, and limit that. Back to the poem. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain and bitter. For always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans, and I'd say and your failures, because all of it. Okay, sorry, stay on task, stay with the poem. It's not my poem, but I'm editing it. All right. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself. Especially do not feign affection, neither be cynical about love. For in the face of all aridity, I don't know what that word is. I should have read this and looked that up. In the face of all aridity, I think, and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass. Gracefully surrendering the things of youth, nurture strength of spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune, but do not distress yourself with dark imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. I'm going to add something there. I'm sorry. You need to be here. You matter. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive God to be, and whatever your labors and aspirations and the noisy confusion of life, keep peace with your soul. With all its sham and drudgery and broken dreams, it's still a beautiful world. Be cheerful. and strive to be happy. Really. These words, written in 1952 by Max Ehrmann, ring so true today and call our souls back to what is possible. And it even offers us some of the transformational tools, and it also offers us some ways to navigate what is right now. So I hope you read it again, and read it in the information section, or Google it, or write it out in your own, in your journal, or type it up. You want to integrate the words. I mean, that's what I love to do with poems or writings that really speak to me. Integrate it, hold it, be with it. So as you hold it and be with it, it can hold you and let you be taken care of. Okay. I just want you to know that I'm with you. I'm with you as we're all called to rise higher, as we nurture and love ourselves forward, and we rise up out of the challenges that are, to look for greater yet to be, and to cultivate that within us. So stay rooted in the possibilities, and again, just rise up, rise forward, and just trust and know that all is well and all will be well, and you're not alone. Okay? All right, I'm sending you all love. May you feel held in grace and peace, and offer yourself gentleness. Until next time, take good care.